What is up, my friends? We are back, myself and Mr. Lee Gunner, to talk through the latest in the world of football. Lee, bro, how are you?
I'm very well, man. Probably not as well as you, seeing as you're flying high, got another win, and I'm sure you're with that smug grin on your face. With Vinny
I'm
Jr.
laughing.
out injured now, I bet you're looking forward to Real Madrid on Wednesday, mate.
Mate, I'm laughing because I was real arrogant going into this game, and I said they're not Barcelona, lads, they're Southampton, and my God, we made hard work of it. So that's why I'm laughing. It's not the smug grin, because the next week, as we were talking about for Liverpool, is going to be crazy. Real Madrid Wednesday, then Manchester City Sunday, and then Newcastle away on the Wednesday. So it's a big week.
Yeah, man. Listen, I watched your game. Not close than I thought it was going to be, if I'm honest. But this is Liverpool. This is what they do under this manager. They find a way. Apart from the Forest game, you've been pretty much flawless, isn't you? And this narrative of who have Liverpool played, well, just go through the teams they've played. Do you know what I mean? In Europe as well, you're top of the Prem. You're looking kind of good, I can't lie.
You know what, though? I'm not getting carried away yet. It's a great start, and I'm buzzing, don't get me wrong. But I think I'm old enough to have learned lessons, lads, from before. So what I thought we'd start off with today, though, Lee, if that's all right with yourself and, of course, the audience. And by the way, I meant to say this to you last week. So this audience is mainly made up, moderator-wise, of my old account. So if there's anybody that you want to add in as a mod from your side, man, you've got the ability there. So click them on. Just to even it up a bit, because we don't want to be in a very Liverpool-centric moderator group. So yeah, let's have a look at the Manchester City situation, because look, I think it's fair to say you and I view this situation and their club very differently. And I want to say that we're going to try to be respectful in this conversation. We expect the chat to be the same, but so tell me why you aren't as angry maybe around the whole Man City case as I would be.
I'll tell you why, Craig, right? Arsenal, as we all know, smashed a beautiful, lovely stadium down where we were actually winning. We had a fantastic team full of top-class footballers. We had a manager that at the time I adored, believe it or not. I did love Wenger back then. And we were doing what we were supposed to be doing. We were winning titles against Fergie as well. And we smashed that down to go and move into this soulless bowl that we're in. And then we've seen Jose come in under Abramovich. By the way, they finished not far behind us that season when we went invincible with Claudio Ranieri. The following season, Jose comes in, sets a record for goals conceded, which still stands today, does back-to-back. And then Chelsea took the mantle and took over, and we're doing what we were supposed to be doing when we moved stadium. And then we see the Sheikh come in and has transformed Man City. And from top to bottom, every time I hear Khaldoon Al-Mubarak speaking, doing interviews and stuff like that, that is what I want to hear from my CEO. Our CEO is now not here. He left this summer, was on Sky Sports News. I think it was on the 12th of January, 2023, when we were 7 or 8 points clear, and sat on Sky Sports News saying the aim is top 4 this season. We were 7 points clear or 8 points clear. It's night and day. The excuse for us is always somebody else's problem. It's always the refs, which I know is a sore topic for Liverpool fans as well. But I don't want to make excuses. My football club have not done what it's supposed to have done. Yeah, we've spent a shit ton of money. We've outspent Real Madrid for the last 12 seasons. If you add it all up over the 12 seasons, we've outspent Man City under this manager we currently have now. And when we look pound for pound, yeah, they've got a better manager. Yeah, they've got some better players. But their squad's massively overrated. They haven't got 2 players for every position. They've got 2 goalkeepers on the bench. One of them's your former keeper from 05 in Scott Carson.
That still makes me laugh, by the way.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah, he's just the water boy, isn't he? He just carries out the lemons and the oranges and stuff like that. And he's loving life, and he just gets to train with a load of ballers every week and get 30 grand a week. Lovely life. But everything that club does and everything that Chelsea did under Abramovich is what my club was supposed to be doing. Yeah, and we've got the money, we've had the money, and it's just excuse after excuse. We went out there and hired a rookie manager, and it's exactly 5 years ago today, Craig, whilst Unai was still in the job, that we were linked to this manager we have now, and I said, I ain't backing him. The video's on the channel. 5 years ago today, I said, F him, I ain't backing this guy. Fast forward 5 years, 1 billion excuses, nearly €1 billion spent. Okay, cool, we're not down to £750 million, if you want to put it in pounds. Yeah, and our squad still ain't nowhere near good enough. Now we've seen Man City fall off a little bit. So it should be us overtaking, with all due respect. Our fans have sat there all summer making out that Liverpool ain't as good as Arsenal. You finished below us last 2 seasons, so on and so forth. Klopp's gone. There's going to be a drop-off. I felt foul of that. I said it's going to go one way or the other. You're either going to sack him by December or at Christmas, or he's actually going to turn out all right. Yeah, he's exceeded all my expectations. Can't believe how well you're playing. Excuse me. But for the Man City thing, I just look at it and I think everything about that club just smacks of excellence. They've got the best in class on the pitch, hence why they've won so much. They've got the best in class as the manager. They've got the best in class in the hierarchy positions. Their academy's the best. They're maybe La Masia, the Barcelona one. But everywhere you look around Europe, you'll see Man City like, oh, who's that player? Oh, he's Man City Academy. Of course it is. And it's like, when you look at our academy, trash. We let our players leave for nothing because they're not going to get a pathway to the team. When you look at City, they've got Oscar Bob getting through. Yeah, they've got Rico Lewis in the team. McAtee's on the bench. They've got other players that have come through. Yeah, Foden, another one. And I just look at it and I just think everything about them is what we're supposed to be. Yeah, and we're starting from a better starting point than when the Sheikh came into them. The difference is the mentality. And our mentality at Arsenal is on its arse, mate. It stinks. Yeah, it's all about blaming everybody else, no accountability, whereas they actually have accountability. Yeah, and it'd be very, very stupid of me to sit here and rule them out of a title yet. Yeah, because they've got money. They've not really spent a great deal in comparison to my club anyway. I know Liverpool don't really spend like that. But in terms of January, it would not surprise me one bit if they've already got a couple of signings ready to go. And my club will be sitting there on our hands all January, making out that Ben White will be like a new signing when he's back. So there we go.
So there's a lot to break down there. Let's start off with what you said about the excellence, the recruitment. I've no argument. You know, I'm not going to push back on any of that. What they've done is an example to get the most out of your money. It is an example of putting the right people in the right positions. And there's been a lot of owners who've come in, spunked a load of cash, broken the rules, and not been as successful as Manchester City have been. So I've no qualms about the quality of what they've done. My argument and my problem is how they got there. You know, because let's go back all the way to 2009 when this investigation started. They came in, and I understand there was Chelsea and Abramovich and other clubs that have absolutely danced all over the FFP rules. But they've come in, Lee, and they've hidden a lot of stuff. And my problem with City has never been with the players or with Pep Guardiola per se. It's about the way that the club has been duplicitous in the way they've gone about their activities and built to where they are. And I think for me, it's people are now so desensitized about the stuff that they did previously to get to this point that they now just, everybody feels like, well, they're here now, they're established, we just have to get on with it. I don't think that should be the case, mate, because you've spoke about your club not spending money. I mean, I'd love to see you spend the summer with FSG because it is equally as frightening. But what I can say is we have been very good in our recruitment, and I will give our recruitment team that, you know, and even the positions that we brought back in, Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, I'm happy with those. But I just can't get past the sticking 2 fingers up to the 19 other clubs in the Premier League. And I spend a lot of time studying up on Man City, reading all their Spiegel leaks, watching documentaries, reading the cases. They've got away with a lot because stuff has been time barred, not because they've been innocent. And I just feel that they need to send a signal in the Premier League now, if, of course, they're found guilty. And I'm absolutely open to a hearing and everybody having the right to go through the legal processes. No problem with any of that. But if they are guilty of some or all of these charges, I think the book has to be thrown at them, Lee, for a couple of reasons. One, they have absolutely, just as I said, stuck 2 fingers up to the rest of the league and gone about and done what they want. And I think with this argument, with me and people who back Manchester City, will come down to one very simple thing, I believe. Do you believe there should be financial restraints and controls in football or not? If you don't, then you would probably say City have done nothing wrong. Let their owner do what he wants. It's their money. But if you do, then you have to follow the set of rules. And I don't believe that they have.
Yeah, I'm one of these where I think, like, they're not going to, if they get found guilty, it's not going to be the main things. I think there's about 6 charges that are to do with alleged financial doping, right? But a lot of these charges are complete tosh. Like, a lot of them go back to like the grass being too short or long or whatever it was, or like the dressing room being this.
One quick second, because I warn people about being respectful. And this is going to be a channel where you will show respect to us and the people in the chat, or you will fuck off. It's that simple. And the guy in the chat said it's okay for you rats to hack our accounts, though. Did anyone say that? Did anybody in this conversation say that? Because we were fined for that and we were held to account.
Yeah, you got found guilty.
Again, if you want to be a smart arse, put a proper comment in and I will debate you on it. But I'm not going to sit here and have you disrespect my football club, me, or the community with your bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. I can't see that comment. But either way, he's right. Listen, yeah, it's a debate. It's a conversation. We don't agree on everything. Yeah, me and Craig have these conversations offline as well as online. Yeah, and I say this to every time. And listen, this is our channel. I say this to anyone when I get a guest on my channels, and I'm sure Craig does the same. Don't diss the guests. Yeah, I don't care whether you've been here from day one or just joined. Yeah, whether you're a moderator, whether you donate, whether you're a member. Anyone slags my guests off on my channels, they're gone. I don't care who they are. Yeah, and that's the same here. Listen, it's a debate. We're going to agree. We're going to disagree. You are going to agree. You're going to disagree. It is what it is. Yeah, the fact and reality is we're both in our 40s. We're not kids. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and we're not going to agree on this, but we're going to get our points across. And we might go, actually, you might be right there, Craig. Or actually, Lee, you might be right there.
But what we do more than anything with all of this discussion, when Saeed's on, when Joe's on, when you guys are in the chat, is show that we can have these conversations. And it doesn't have to resort to name calling, because we're not going to get anywhere. You know I won't convince some of you guys. You know some of you won't convince me. But maybe we can find bits in the middle. Because I'm sure by the time me and Lee finish talking here, I'll go away and think, you know what? Lee made some good points. The chat made some good points. And I want us to form a consensus and not just have this snidiness of everyone going in on each other, because it doesn't help. It doesn't help any of us. And I want to understand your side. I really do. And I hope you guys can understand mine as well.
Facts. And getting back to the point, I'm not one that wanted financial fair play anyway, because I think it's a load of rubbish. Yeah, and I think like a lot of these charges are rubbish as well. There's only about 6 charges that are what they could potentially be done for. Yeah, like big time done for. Yeah, and if they are found guilty, which is what we're going to find out in January, I'd imagine, maybe February, but it's going to be early next year. What we are going to find out is whether they are guilty. And if they are guilty of all of the main problems, the main convictions they've got against them and charges against them, then yeah, throw the book at them. The problem we have here, though, Craig, is they're one of the biggest clubs in the country right now in terms of success. Yeah, they're one of the big 6. The Premier League are not going to cut their hands off to spite, or cut their nose off to spite their face. Yeah, we've got this with Chelsea as well on a lesser scale. Yeah, Chelsea, another part of the big 6. So are they going to relegate 2 of the big 6?
I don't know where's that $1.5 billion gone. By the way, I've been asking that for a while. Like, where the hell is that gone?
This is the thing.
So they just got away with $1.5 billion, just gone.
But this is why I rate these clubs, because these clubs find loopholes. They do clever accounting. Yeah, our ownership, is it any coincidence that both of us here are sat here with owners that genuinely couldn't care less? The one thing I'll say about both of them clubs, I know I've shoehorned Chelsea into this, at least they care. They look like they give a toss, like especially the Sheikhs. Yeah, and as listen, as guys in our 40s, we know that they want to be the best at everything. Yeah, Arab culture, they want to be the best. They want to have excellence. They don't do cheap crap. Yeah, and they will find a way to be the best, whether that involves clever accounting, whether that involves other things, who knows? But listen, you don't amass so much wealth, whether it's your ownership, our ownership, or any other ownership, without doing stuff that you shouldn't have been doing in the first place. You don't get that much billions in your bank or in that much assets.
Mate, I'm by doing dodgy shit. I'm absolutely open to the fact that they're all dodgy. I'm absolutely open to the fact that every single club pulls shenanigans. Of course, I'm not wet behind the ears. Like, and what that lad said had a point about Manchester City. Liverpool did hack their scouting system. That's been proven. We were fine for that. So
yeah, but I rate that. I rate that.
I mean, the shit house in me rates as well. I won't lie. I do.
The thing is, you got caught. If you hadn't got caught, happy days, isn't it?
What winds me up the most about Pep Guardiola and City's stance on this? It's that the public declarations are, we want this to be sped up, we want this to be resolved, and yet they're delaying everything. So that's the part. You said there's 6 charges that relate to accounting. But a lot of these charges then are their own problem, because they've created it by not being forthcoming or by slowing down the investigation. So they probably could have made this easier on themselves if they had have opened up their books properly, like Everton, like Chelsea or others. That's my big problem with it, is a lot of these charges could have probably been avoided.
Oh, facts. I totally agree. But at the same time, they know what they're doing, man. Listen, they've got the number one QC or KC as it is now, barrister in the country. They've got the best of the best. They've got the best in class on the pitch, off the pitch, and now off the pitch, like with legal advice and stuff like that. They're paying a fortune. So they're getting advice from the best lawyers, the best solicitors and all of that to long this out and long this out and long this out to get some of this stuff time barred. Yeah. Get some of this stuff thrown away. Yeah. Find other ways. And I'll be honest with you, Craig, like I'd want my club to do this. Yeah. I don't think they're going to, and I'll be honest with you. Yeah. Like I genuinely hope they get off of all of them. Like real talk. And I'll tell you why. Right? Because it's not Man City's responsibility to care about the rest of the Premier League. It's their responsibility to be the best in the Premier League. You know, they own a football club.
I agree with that.
They're here to. They've renovated and rejuvenated a lot of the blue side of Manchester. I've been to their ground. The grounds don't like their stadium. However, what they've done in the area and around the area, unbelievable. It looks insane.
But we can't speak about that, Lee, without talking about the soft power influence of why they're doing that.
Oh yeah, come on. Listen, we know they've got connections left, right, and centre. I understand that, and I understand the amount of money that's been invested into the UK in general. Right, but at the same time, I want my club to act like that, and I want my club, like I said a minute ago about FFP. I think FFP is a load of crap. You know, how is it a guy that's worth 20-odd billion quid can't invest whatever he wants into the club because other clubs get the ump because you have to spend what you bring in? What I think should happen is every single club in the Premier League or even in the lower leagues, however much the club is valued at book price as of whenever they come in or whatever it is, if they bring this law or new rule in that I'm making up in my head right now to use my argument, if they said that Man City is valued at 4 billion quid, yeah, now what should happen is you can't sell that football club if there's any debt attached to it. Yeah, you can't let the next person come in and take over the debt. You have to clear the debt before you can sell the club. So if there's 2 billion quid in debt attached to the football club, you have to clear that before you can get 4 million if somebody bids 4 million for it. Now you have to clear the debt. The new owner comes in, he buys the club for 4 billion, but if he's serious, he'll put 4 billion in a reserve. So
I
now,
can tell you why that's flawed if you want.
One second, let me land this last point. Right, let me land this last point. I'll let you go. Right, because why is it? Well, the easiest way to explain this here: if you buy a shop or a restaurant on a strip, let's say where I live, near my bath, there's 25 restaurants all in a row. You go and buy one slap bang in the middle. It's been empty for years. You go in and buy it. Yeah, you go and poach all the best staff in the whole strip. They all come and work for you, and you pay them double the money. But then all the others get together and say, well, actually, sorry. Yeah, that's out of order. You can't do that. Why? It's your business. And it's their business. Man City is a business to them. And that's how they look at it, because they're businessmen. Whereas we look at it from the purist, the football fan side of it. And that's why people get the ump. They've got so much money, Craig, they can spend whatever they want and they can afford to do it. But the restrictions hold them back. Yeah, same with your club, same with my club.
There's some massive holes in some of the stuff you said there. I'm going to try and clear up as best as I can. So around it's their money, let them do what they want part, right? So you use the example of a shop inside the town, a restaurant inside Marbella for 25 in a row. Nobody's going to give a fuck if a restaurant closes, Lee, firstly. So you can't say that, if a restaurant closes, you've 24 other restaurants. There isn't 24 other Manchester Cities for Manchester City fans to go and watch. And also, I would probably have a lot more agreement with you on this whole premise if it wasn't for state-backed clubs. That to me is where, and I'm very sympathetic to the billionaire owner idea. I am. I do think there is some merit to that. But what we've seen now after Newcastle in particular have been taken over by the Saudi investment fund and Abu Dhabi back in Manchester City is it's becoming a pissing contest for rich states. And in that scenario, there's no jeopardy. Because you spoke about a 2 billion debt on a club. A country doesn't give a damn about a 2 billion debt. They'll let Manchester City go to rack and ruin, ship them apart, rip them up and sell them off. Because they don't have to answer to anybody. A billionaire owner has to make money or has to break even, like you said. So I think we're probably on the same page for billionaire owners. I think it's when it comes to state-backed clubs, it's unfair. There's no jeopardy there because you can't, imagine King Charles decided he was going over to buy the Raiders. And he was going to use the entirety of the British royal family's wealth to just make the Raiders. Now, I know that there are financial restrictions in the NFL, so it's not a great comparison, but there has to be some jeopardy and there has to be some accountability, because we've seen many of these football clubs go to the wall, like Angie, I can't pronounce their name, a couple of others in France, Malaga, I think, as well in Spain. So for me, the biggest gripe I have here, Lee, is with the whole national wealth fund part of it and the sovereign funds. I don't believe any state, whether it be Ireland, America, Abu Dhabi, should be owning football clubs, because there's no jeopardy. If a business person has done well, like you said, made $5 billion and wants to plow it all into a football club, that's their money, as you said. But you can't compete with a nation's wealth, because Saudi will win every time, first and foremost, at this point, because they've got the most dough. And I don't want football to become that.
But football's already been that, Craig. Yeah, just on a lesser scale.
To some extent.
Yeah, because let's be real. We set up the Premier League. Our clubs were two of the founder members of the Premier League. Yeah, and we did that because we thought we were better than everyone else and we wanted to crush the opposition, which has now pretty much gone full circle back in our faces, because the Chelseas of this world and the Man Cities of this world have snuck in with even more money, and gazumped us. And we've got American ownership that genuinely couldn't care less about our clubs. Yeah, they're more interested in their franchises in America, especially our ownership. Yeah, and I look at it and I just think like when you said about state funded and all of that, in the grand scheme of things, you can say that. But Arsenal Stadium is sponsored by the Emirates. Yeah, Arsenal's front sponsor is the Emirates. Arsenal's training ground is sponsored by a real estate company in Dubai. So we're basically backed by Dubai.
They have to pass tests for fair market value. They can't just make it up. That's what this APT argument was about. So yes, Manchester, or yes, your stadium's sponsored by the Emirates, but that had to be ran past the Premier League. It had to be compared with other deals that had been done previously and signed off on. They can't just make up a number. Emirates couldn't come in and go, we want to sponsor Arsenal for £1 billion for 10 years. The Premier League look at it and go, that's not market value.
No, I hear that, but at the same time, the Premier League is dodgy anyway. How do they let Chelsea's owner
made that
his own hotel to Clear Lake? Like, come on.
That's a piss take. And I'm not saying
it's so wishy-washy, like with this, because the Premier League, they're not going to cock up their own product. They're not. And by having this Sheikh Mansour here, by having Roman here, that was a problem because of whatever went south that way. Yeah. And now they've brought Todd Bowley in. Yeah. At the end of the day, Todd Bowley, like you said earlier, where's £1.5 billion gone? Yeah, the Premier League have allowed that. They've also allowed them to get a hotel, sell it to their own company, and that's been fine. Yeah, and now they've allowed them to go out and do all of this money. Yes, they've made a few quid back, nearly 450 million back since Bowley's been there on player sales. Yeah, but that's still 700 million nearly, or 700 odd million in 2 seasons that he's been there. Yeah, Arsenal have spent that in 5 under Arteta. You spent that probably in nearly the whole of Klopp's tenure. Yeah, maybe just a bit more than that. They've come in and gone, bang, loophole, loophole, loophole. So these loopholes are there to find sneaky ways around it. The difference is your owner don't want to do it, and neither does mine, which is why I hope they get off, because then maybe, just maybe, our ownerships will and our fan bases will sit there and say, well, hang on a minute, we've allowed this to happen. Maybe our owners are actually the problem, because we've got the money, we've got billionaire owners. Yeah, when you said, the last thing I'll say, and I'll let you go, when you said about state backing and this and that, why should it be that a state, well, they're not, yes, they're technically a state. However, how much money that Man City have had invested in them, and how much money the Sheikhs have put in, and how much money they've recouped back into the club and stuff like that, because their academy is a joke. So the money they've put in and then the money they've got back from player sales from their academy, I guarantee it isn't that much money in comparison since they've been there, like to other clubs around the world. Guarantee it's not. The
fact of the matter is, again, I think we're getting to where they are now as a club, but it's about how they got to where they are now as a club. Where they are now, I would absolutely believe that they're breaking even or they're making profit, because as you've said, they've created a monster where their academy turns out great players. They've got sister clubs. They're bringing in players, moving them around. And yes, they're conducting very, very good business. No debate about any of that. What I would say to some comments in the chat about they're not owned by Abu Dhabi or they're not owned by Saudi. Nobody conducts business in any of these countries without the nod and the wink and a handshake from the royal families and the Emirati. Look what happened when Manchester City won the Champions League. Go and look at the post around that. It was thanking the Emirati public. This is one on behalf of the people of Abu Dhabi. And that's all sound. People of Abu Dhabi, Saudi, everybody's welcome into football. But you got to play by the rules. And if the rules are found to be broken, where I think the Premier League have created a massive headache, and I hope we can all actually agree on this part, is when they start dishing out the point relegation or the point deductions to Everton and other clubs, 10 points here, 10 points, they've set a precedent now. So if City are found guilty, it's going to be very difficult to negotiate this down because they've already done it to other clubs. And I think they've been too harsh on those other clubs. So I think if, let's say, they're found guilty of 20 charges, they're going to have to do something about it, mate. And I think the Premier League have made this rod for their own back in that regard.
Yeah, because the Premier League don't know it's arse from its elbow. Like, let's be real with it. Some of the stuff they've done, like over the years, is just laughable. I mean, they've just handed out a 7-game ban for Bentancur, but then Enzo walks off scot-free. Yeah, it's like, what are we doing here?
Disgraceful, mate. Yeah,
the Premier League it's even like it's jobs for the boys at the Premier League. Let's not forget this. Yeah, it's jobs for the boys at a lot of these organisations, because a lot of these organisations, like the Premier League, like the PGMOL, yeah, they'll have board members that are board members of our football clubs. David Dean used to be a board member of the FA when he was at our club. Yeah, he was our coach or vice chairman. Yeah, and he was a board member at the FA. Yeah, now Arsene Wenger's gone and got a job at FIFA. Yeah, they've all got jobs for the boys. And this is why football's always been a bit snide. Let's just be real with it. If there's money involved,
mate, it's the only industry in the world where you can get sacked as a manager, get £1 million payoff, and walk into another job. Any other industry, you're getting sacked and being shitty, and you're going to struggle. But how many times have you seen the same managers on the merry-go-round going around?
Mate, Steve Bruce did over 1,000 games. How? But this is the thing: it's where there's money involved, there'll always be cheating. Yeah, there'll always be bending of the rules. Yeah, for me, with Man City, I just look at it and I think, like, they're doing the utmost to try and be successful. Yeah, and for me, I've always said this: if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Yeah, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I want my club to not cheat, but try and do clever accounting. Yeah, try and find a snide little route with a little loophole. When Todd Bowley came into England, we were like, Todd who? Only Americans that watch baseball, knew who Todd Bowley was, and some of the American franchises he owned. Nobody knew who Todd Bowley was. He comes in, and inside 6 months, he's doing 8-year contracts. So now they've changed the rule.
Let's bring this back. I agree, by the way. I love a snidey little loophole, and in life in general, mate. I love pushing the boundaries of taxing and others. I love it. I agree with you on a lot of this. But if they are found to have broken the rules, so they haven't necessarily found the Todd Bowley loopholes, but if they are found to have broken rules, what punishment is going to happen? And this we could speculate on forever, because I honestly haven't got a clue, mate, where to start with it. So let's just park this up, because I know we'll come back to it.
I think it depends on what they get found guilty for and how much of what they get found guilty for. Because there's 115. They ain't getting done for 115.
No, I don't believe
they'll probably get done for about 5 at best. And one of them will probably result in a transfer ban. One of them will result in a fine. Yeah, a little slap on the wrist, maybe a little 6-point deduction, 15-point deduction if it's some of the bigger ones. Other than that, they ain't relegate them. Why would it be in the interest of the Premier League to relegate one of their top 6 teams?
Well, what we have to understand, I guess, about the structure of the Premier League is that it's not just Richard Masters and them boys sitting in an office. It's the stakeholders of the Premier League are the 20 clubs in it. So there's 19 other clubs that are going to have a say in what they would like to happen. Again, this is probably above our pay grade, Lee. So let's bring it back to Manchester City. Last weekend, Spurs 4-0.
Wow.
Lee, I'll tell you what, mate, I was surprised is an understatement, because let's look at the build-up to this game. Rodri with the Ballon d'Or out there in front of the Etihad. Pep Guardiola with that incredible news for City fans about signing a 2-year extension. I was expecting them to go out and wipe the floor with Spurs 4 or 5-0. To say I was shocked, mate, is an understatement. It was both shocking from City's perspective, but fantastic. That first goal, that Matters goal, the first one from Spurs, that was top-notch.
Mate, his second one weren't half bad either, was it? Like the reverse ball from Son and then the little dink over the top. But I expected City to beat them quite comfortably as well. They just come off of the back, Spurs of losing to Ipswich. Yeah, and it was like no Van der Ven, no Romero, no Bentancur. I was thinking, Son's not been great this season. Like, they've not been great themselves in general, Spurs. And I'm thinking, well, Man City are due a win. They're at home. Yeah, Spurs played well against them, but mate, I couldn't believe it. 4-0. Yeah, the goalkeeper Vicario made some great saves, like a 0-0. Yeah, they should have scored with Haaland. Great save with
first
his
20,
foot.
I thought Spurs were going to get battered because City came
Yeah.
out fast.
Yeah, first 15, 20 minutes, and then they got the goal. Yeah, and then even after that, Foden had a chance. He smacked over the bar. But for me, it was the fact they kept a clean sheet on them. Man City looked lost. Pep looked lost. The fans were walking out. Yeah, and it's like it's nice to see at times, because it's like, yeah, this lot have fucking won everything. Like, yeah, that should have been my club. Yeah, but at the same time, I look at it and I've like, yeah, Man City are in trouble. Yeah, and my team is still behind them. I also question how the hell have they gone there and slapped them 4? When my team ain't won there since what, 2014? 10 years we ain't beaten them, and Tottenham beat them nearly every time they play them. Yeah, it's like, I know you always have that one team that's your bogey team, but why does it have to be them?
It's fair. So I was wondering actually, so what I criticised Jurgen Klopp for at Liverpool for a while was maybe, and the owners, is getting too much out of the players that were there, like absolutely rinsing every drop out of them. And I'm looking at this Manchester City group of your Bernardo Silvas and whatnot, and I'm wondering, is this rebuild time now for Guardiola at City? Because, you know, their transfer business has been questionable. If you look at the likes of Grealish coming in, Savinho's, he's, you know, up and down, looks like a really talented player, probably come good. Then you've got Doku. It isn't as concrete as maybe the signings were previously. And I'm interested from an outside perspective to see the evolution now. Pep Guardiola, can he build again another great Manchester City side before he maybe departs off, like Sir Alex didn't do at Manchester United, but did do many times before that. Klopp started the process before he left. What do you think? Are we going to see wholesale changes now from City?
You're going to have to. Like, the thing is, they've got a good chunk of players out injured. Yeah, and the fact is, over the last 2 or 3 summers, they've let some very good players go and not replaced them with a quality, like you said. Right, letting Mahrez go, they should have kept him for 1 more year. Like, and then brought Savio in and let him go the summer just gone. Instead, they got rid of him. Yeah, they still won the title, of course they did. But like, I look at it and I just think their summer business was shambles. It was a shambles, mate. Like, bringing Gundogan back in, cool. I think everyone thought Gundo, top player. We can all appreciate he's a baller. Yeah, but at the same time, he had a pretty average season in Spain, despite what people tell me. I do watch that league. And he weren't great at Barcelona last season. Yeah, like, he was spending half his time diving and winning penalties and the other half ghosting games. He weren't brilliant last season. And I didn't expect him to play as much as he has, but that comes back down to the fact that Rodri's out injured and they didn't get anyone to replace him. So I don't really know, man. I just think that if they can get to January the 1st within no more than 12 points behind, yeah, then I think they've got to sign somebody by January the 2nd. And if I'll be absolutely baffled if they haven't got 2 or 3 signings lined up ready to go in January first week. They need to go and get, if it was me, if I was their ownership right now, they need a right back straight away. Yeah, because Kyle Walker's done. He's been done for 2 years. They need to go and get 2 midfielders. I'd go and get Morgan Rogers back. He came through their academy, just signed a new deal, so it's going to cost money. Yeah, and I'd go and get Zubimendi, your mate.
I think he's gone to Madrid, in all honesty, unfortunately.
I think he'll go Barca, if I'm honest.
I wonder, though, the reason I think Madrid is, I'm a bit of a romantic, and I'm thinking Alonso leaves Leverkusen, goes to Madrid, brings the next golden boy from Sociedad with him. That comment that was brought up a second ago about Alvarez actually was an interesting one. It did. They got good money for him. I'll say that. They got very good money for him, but it was an interesting one to see, maybe, because he was chipping in with a fair few goals.
They had a bit of arrogance this summer, I think, because like, you lot didn't spend anything. We didn't really spend a great deal. I think we've done about 65 mil all in, like with the sales and all of that. You done what, Chiesa and a goalkeeper for next year. Yeah, so I think they thought, we got enough. They didn't bank on Rodri getting injured. They didn't bank on De Bruyne, Stones, Oscar Bob. Who else has been injured for them? They've had there was another one that was been injured for them. I can't remember. Yeah, they got rid of him. Didn't really replace him. Yeah, and now you're looking at it and you're thinking,
went as well, didn't he? He went.
That's it, Laporte. Yeah, that's him. But yeah, you're looking at it and you're thinking, this squad ain't that good, is it? It's good, but it ain't that good. But then you add in the injuries. If all the injuries are back, all the injured players are back, they're walking the sail. Yeah, because they are that good and they've been there, done it, and seen it. Yeah, but
So,
the fact that they've got Rodri out, that is a massive miss. And the fact that they haven't got any cover for him other than Gundogan and Kovacic, who both shouldn't be starting week in, week out. Yeah, they needed somebody that they could rotate with Rodri, so you don't have to play him every single week. Yeah, it's unfortunate he done an ACL, of course it is. Yeah, but at the same time, when your backup is Gundogan and Kovacic, yeah, decent players, of course they have been over the years. You don't play for the clubs they've played for if you're crap. But at the same time, this is where Man City are at. And their arrogance in the summer, because of what our clubs did or didn't do, they just thought they could wing it again. Yeah, get to see past the charges, see what happens there, then go on a shopping spree. Now they're going to have to go on a shopping spree. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe they won't. And if they don't go on a shopping spree in January, then it's probably your title.
I'm just hoping we can keep as big of a gap between us and them as possible, because they are second half of the season strong normally. So difficult one. I just wanted to bring that up because I did bring up Linda's super chat, but I don't think
I replied
we
in the comment. I didn't read it, but I commented when.
Cool.
But we can read them out if you want. It's while we're flowing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just, I knew the lady knew you because obviously she's addressed you in the comments. So
bless her.
So I wanted to turn it over to the red half of Manchester now, Lee, because we've seen Ruben Amorim's first game as Manchester United manager. It's impossible. You're not judging anybody off one game, obviously. I'm not trying to say that, but it felt to me when I seen his interview afterwards that maybe it's dawning on him that it's a bit of a bigger turnaround that he needs to do here with some of these players, because I rate him as a coach. I think he'll do well there. But I think he's looking at it now going, maybe I need a bit more than is here.
Mate, playing Amad Diallo at right wing back was ridiculous. But he's wasted. Absolutely wasted at right wing back. Yeah, that guy's a baller. And they're playing him at right wing back. I thought they were awful. Yeah, they got the goal real quick. Yeah, but their midfield was as wide open as I've seen it all season. Right. And he looked like it was like he was sat on the touchline, Amorim. And I rate him as well. I think he's a good manager. I think he will be good for them. Yeah, but I think like he was sat there thinking, don't really think this lot are any good because he ain't really trained with many of them all week. They've been on the international break. He's had one training session with the whole lot, I think, or two training sessions with a whole lot. He's put a squad together and a team together for the game. Garnacho stinks every week. He's rubbish. Yeah, Casemiro, I thought was pretty bang average in that game. Yeah, he got hooked off. Johnny Evans at centre back. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? I know they've got injuries to Yoro and Martinez, but this is where we're at with Man United squad as well. The drop off from their actual proper 11 to their reserves and their backups is night and day. And he put a mix and match squad together based off of what he had. But he's gone in there, and I rate what he's done because, listen, yeah, they didn't win the game, but he's gone, this is my formation, this is my system, and I'm playing it. Whereas Ten Hag went in there and said, I can't play Ajax football, which is why they brought him in there to play Ajax football. So I rate the fact that he did what he wanted to do. But he's going to find out very quickly that the players ain't good enough. Yeah, and he needs a couple of transfer windows to get that crap out and get some decent ones in. They've got a basis of a good team there. Yeah, they have got some good players.
I love when a new manager comes in, whoever they are, and they've underestimated the Ipswiches of this world and how actually competitive the Premier League is and how boisterous the fans are. And I think that was a lovely welcome to English football from going down to Ipswich, and their fans were up for it. And of course, they have a great manager in Kieran McKenna who did great things with them in the Championship. And it was never going to be an easy game. And I think maybe this will give Amorim a wake-up call, because if you couple that with the news that he has to make do a lot more with what he has or sell what he has before he'll be given a lot of transfer funds, I don't think he's going to get the same amount of backing as Ten Hag did initially anyway.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Do you know the one thing I do like about him, though? He ain't afraid to say what he thinks. Like he said about Bruno Fernandes at the end of the game, like he just spanks the ball too much. He just hits the ball, long ball. We can't play like that. So he's called his own player out from day one. Yeah, he's also. I don't know if you see the when he was doing his pitch side interview. Did you see his face when Ed Sheeran popped?
I was going to bring that up, man. I was thinking, dude, it's Ed Sheeran. Everyone loves Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran. And he just looked like somebody pissed in his cornflakes.
To be fair, I think Ed Sheeran was tipsy. I think he was on the juice.
Well, he was being matey with Redknapp, so you'd have to have something like you'd have to be a bit non-compos mentis there to be falling up with Redknapp.
I thought it was a bit disrespectful, though. I can't lie. Right.
Sheeran did apologise. He did put out a tweet to apologise. Yeah, he did,
fair.
To be fair.
I didn't see that. But yeah, I thought it's like Ruben Amorim's first interview post-match. and you've just gone and gate crashed it. Yeah, Roy Keane's face was hilarious. He was like, look at that. What are you doing here? Yeah,
That's what he wasn't calling out the Ipswich fans to the car park.
Oh, I see that. I see that. Yeah, I'll meet you in the car park, he said. But I thought Jamie Redknapp's had a rough deal out of that, because I think what Jamie Redknapp realised, yeah, and everyone said, oh, look, him and Jamie, blah, blah. No, I think Jamie Redknapp was embarrassed. Yeah, and I think Jamie Redknapp was trying to say, look, we'll meet you afterwards, yeah, and we'll have a chat afterwards to try and get him off. Yeah, but people have gone at Jamie for that. Like, and listen, I don't like Jamie Redknapp anyway. Yeah, I think everyone's giving him a rough ride for that, because I think he was like realising, look, it's his first interview. Roy Keane's giving everyone daggers. Yeah, like they're standing there like, what's going on here? Trying to be nice because it's Ed Sheeran. Yes, Jamie was like, yeah, come and meet us afterwards. Yes, like get out of the way. Yeah, but
yeah, I think you're right.
I thought it was a little bit disrespectful that he turned up, but he was happy. Like, he wanted to get on telly. He was probably a bit tipsy. Yeah, and
he had his own little Ed Sheeran tracksuit top as well. Did you see that with his initials?
But like, this is what the Premier League's become, though, and it's a circus at times.
Do you know what?
And
We
Sky
said this
Sports are
last
invested
time.
in the circus.
Sky are becoming YouTubers. That's all this is now. They're all just influencers, and that's all it is. It's the mainstream
bear
media.
with me. Someone's at my door, Craig.
Stuff.
Yeah, someone's at my door, mate. 1 second.
Yeah. I'll talk about the chat. No worries. Yeah, so for me, ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to know what you think about this. I've said this to Lee many times. It feels like Sky are now trying to become YouTubers. So it used to be they looked down at us, other fan channels, and now they're trying to do what we do, but they don't have what we have, which is that connection with you guys, the amazing audience that come in every week. And by the way, thank you all, because I know sometimes you're going to disagree with me strongly. That's absolutely sound. Same with Lee. But we are here to do what you guys want to do. We do love and respect that you guys are in here with us. So much love on that one. We're going to move on in a minute to speak about Arsenal and Liverpool and the remainder of this campaign. But appreciate you all being in with us as well. And welcome to everyone from Lee's channel. We're going to try even up the mods as well to make sure that we've got Lee's channel in here represented and the moderators as well. So, yeah, blessed to you all coming in. Appreciate you. Different opinion every week from these pundits. Yes, Kat, absolutely. Do you know what, though? I'm getting sick of Neville. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but it feels like I can't go for a shite without Gary Neville there handing me the toilet roll. Like, everywhere I turn around, Gary Neville podcast, overlap, Gary Neville. And his opinions and his takes are getting worse. They're getting so bad. Let me just get through some of your comments while he's gone out. But the YouTubers are very much influenced by the mainstream media, which is a shame. I think it's probably split, to be fair, mate. It's a fair comment. I mean, I know when I started making YouTube content, I used to feel like I had to be like TV, you know, because I never knew what YouTube was about because I wasn't a big viewer of YouTube. We're just basically talking about the whole Sky YouTuber crossover stuff at the minute and how, and basically how I'm sick of Gary Neville as well, mate. I'm sick of looking at him. He's everywhere.
Mate, he is everywhere. It's like a bad smell, isn't he? Like, but this is the thing. Like, we said this last week on the first show, that he doesn't need the money, but he was never the main guy at United, and he's got that main character syndrome. He wants to be the main character, and he's never been that. Yeah, now he's set up a podcast. He's still not really the main character on his own podcast because Roy Keane's there, Wright is there. Although, yes, he's more decorated than all of them. I think he's one more than Roy Keane.
I love Wrighty, by the way. Absolutely love Wrighty.
See, I can't stand him.
I love him because he's always good to us. He's always kind to Liverpool, so I love him.
I can't stand him. But, yeah, it is what it is. But I just think you're right. He always has to have a say on everything. It's like, bro, sometimes you don't need to talk about every single topic. You genuinely don't. Yeah, he's now doing watch-alongs. He's now doing he's now doing like hiccups in the car park, like in the podcasts and all of this. And then it's like, mate, you don't need the money. You just want the love and the adulation and the power and being the main man and trying to take over. And he's always sticking his nose into stuff that don't concern him, which I just find jarring, innit? But
100% on this, by the way. 100% agree.
Yeah. Yeah, he's basically, yeah, that's spot on. Absolutely spot on. But do you know what it is there? I think so many people are influenced by Sky Sports. Yeah, and Sky Sports has just fallen off a cliff. It weren't what it was when we first started watching it, when they had Andy Graham, Richard Keys and all that lot on there, like back in the day. It's now become full of influencers, basically. Like full of I hate that word anyway. I'm not influencing anyone. I'm a football fan, but everyone calls them influencers. But it's basically just a stats-driven TV station. It's basically a mainstream YouTube channel. That's all it is. Yeah, that shows the football every weekend. That's all it is.
I agree.
Yeah, and they're charging an absolute fortune to watch it. Yeah, and I understand why people go and find other means to watch football, because if you're sitting there to watch that, might as well just watch everyone on YouTube. Yeah, because at least you'll get the proper fan perspective of it, whether we're deluded or not, whether we're stupid, whether we're arrogant, whether we're rude, whether you like us, don't like us. Well, would you rather pay £100 a month to watch Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher? No, because you don't have to pay to watch us.
Can you imagine, mate, if it ever got to the point where us YouTubers can pay for some of the copyright stuff? So we could maybe, we got, let's say, the Carabao Cup one season, and a group of YouTubers bought rights together, and all you said, right, Lee, you can have the Arsenal games, and Paddock, you can have the United games or whatever, and it'd be fun, wouldn't it? Do you remember the old, viewers might remember this, they might not. Do you remember the old Fan Zone on Sky?
Yeah. They used to.
Oh, man,
you could have the Fan Zone commentary, or you could have the normal commentary. Yeah.
If you could just add a bit of swearing into Fan Zone and people didn't have to apologize for swearing, man, that was mint. I love that.
Yeah, that was decent. And you got a proper fan's perspective of it.
And you got the wind up as well when they were against each other. Like if you guys were playing Arsenal or Spurs, you had the two people just winding each other up on there. I love that. I live for that.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, but this is what they're trying to do. Yeah, they're trying to go down this fan route, which is all well and good. But the problem is they're getting in the dopiest fans most of the time. Right, the ones that are just happy clappers and can't say what they want. And I always feel that if you go down if you go down the route where you're going into the mainstream, and you're going on Sky Sports, you're going on BT Sports. Number one, you can't be authentic, because like you said, we do like swearing every now and again. Anyone who's been to a football match, you've sworn. Whether you're watching a football match, whether you've been at the grounds, whether you're in a pub, like whether you're with your friends, whether you're just listening on the radio and you're driving, you listen, flip effing hell. Yeah, we just effing conceded again. Everyone swears. Yeah, cool. Some of us swear more than others. But mainstream, you can't do that. So number one, that takes the authenticity out of watching football straight away, because a lot of people will curse under their breath, or say it out loud. Yeah. Number two, if they're paying you to go on there, which most of the time Sky don't, they'll pick you up and they'll drop you off at the studio. They'll give you a little free lunch and all that, but most of the time you ain't getting paid. Yeah, but it's, look at me, I made my debut on Sky Sports News. Who cares? They didn't pay you. You've just wasted your whole day and just got a free Uber there and back. But it's part of their portfolio.
In my living room, I made £500.
Yeah, exactly. And this is my point, Craig. Yeah, like these people don't really care about YouTube. A lot of these YouTubers, they just care about it being their portfolio to get into the mainstream, and that is what they want. And it's the same with the football writers. I'm not going to name all the newspapers I can't stand, but it's majority of them. But there's a particular one that ends.
I want to just jump in on one point there, real quick.
Go on.
And it's what you made there, but they don't care about YouTube. That's the reason I'm doing this podcast with Lee, by the way, because I looked around at the YouTube landscape and I thought, well, one, Lee's sound, but two, he has that connection. And my channel is built off a connection with the viewers and the interaction with the chat. And I know yours is the same. And that's why I said, if there's one man I want to do this with, it's Lee, because he brings his own great connection with his audience. He cares about his channel, and he isn't just in this for credit. Look, we're all in it to earn a living. Let's not lie about that. But at the same time, this is more than that for us. This isn't a means to an end. This is my end, and I'm sure it's the same with you. This is the end goal. This is it. I don't want to be on Sky. I don't want to be on the radio.
No, I'm not interested. I want to be here. Like, listen, I'm sure you do as well. Like, your channel is bigger than mine. Yeah, and I'm sure you're bombarded with emails every day of people. You have to filter through the crap, because half of them are scams. Let's be real with it. Yeah, but you'll get emails every day. Can you promote this? Can you promote that? Can you do this? We want your cooperation. As soon as it says cooperation, I swipe and delete. That's fake. Like, because you will not address somebody if you're trying to do a business deal with
I'm going to let you in on something. I turned down $100,000 a year job.
There you go.
And a radio station.
There you go.
And I don't make that much, by the way. My channel might, but I don't, because of obviously wages not. But this is it for me, Lee. This is what I want to do. Like you, when I speak to you offline so much, it's not a job. This is our life. Like, this is our life. You live your channel. Like, I don't know where you get the energy from for all the watch alongs you do, by the way, but fair play. But we live it. It isn't a means to an end. We're not
glad I
grifting
bounced
people.
away from that Bilbao game yesterday. It finished 1-0. I was going to do that last night. I thought, no, I'm going to chill the missus.
But yeah, my point is we're not trying to grift anybody here. We genuinely like the people in our chats and we want to get to know them and we want to have fun and share the experience and the journey with them. And I think that's what they'll never be able to do on mainstream media.
No, because they don't interact with their audience. Like TalkSport are live pretty much all day and all evening. Yeah, they don't read out the comments in the YouTube chat. They don't even reply in the YouTube chat. Yeah, that's just there to boost up their numbers so they can go and show a sponsor that they're getting loads of views on YouTube. Yeah, and the interaction's mad. That's it. Yeah, Sky Sports don't interact with anyone. Well, you'll get Gary Neville or whoever it is running the Overlap YouTube channel afterwards. It ain't Gary Neville replying to you. You might get the odd comment every now and again if you reply after the video's gone out. Yeah, we do lives because we like interaction with you guys. We like talking to you guys. There's people in this chat that you'll recognize from your channel. Yeah, and there's people in this chat that I recognize from my channel. Yeah, and they're here no matter where we go. Yeah, if you come onto my channel and we do a live or do an upload, they're in the comments when we do the previews and stuff like that, and vice versa. Yeah, all the guys that are donating are a mix of both channels. Yeah, and listen, if I haven't read them out or Craig hasn't read them out, I have commented in the chat or they have been pinned. Yeah. And maybe we should, going forward, maybe just do a section for super chats. I don't know. Maybe
yeah, it's a good idea. It is tough because what you said earlier on, when you're in that rhythm and you're chatting and it's going well, you don't want to break it up, but you also don't want to be rude to people. So any suggestions on how you'd
especially with their hard-earned cash being put in as well. Yeah, maybe read them all out at the end or maybe have a segment. I don't know. Or maybe just say at the beginning of the show that we don't want them. We're not going to ask. Well, we do want them, but we're not going to ask for them. Yeah, but at the same time, maybe like if they don't get read out, they will be replied to. Because I do this sometimes when I'm on a show with Rants or other people. It's like we're flowing for like 15, 20 minutes, and then it's like they stack up, especially on watch-alongs. And then some of them might not be in the chat at the end of the show when I read them out at the end of the watch-alongs. And then the other day, I think I had 47 or 57 there. Now I know it's going to take an hour to read them all out. But I'm not going to read them out. Yeah, and if I don't read them out, then I am definitely replying in the comments. But then they might be driving. They might not see. You see what I'm saying? It's difficult, isn't it?
This one's funny because I was doing a live show in Liverpool recently, and I've done a couple over there in the last few months. And each live show I've done, nobody else from the content world has been brought up in my audience, but you've been brought up in two separate shows, this guy being one of them, and Rob obviously being the other one.
Yeah, bless that man.
But I don't know if I should say this, but the first live show I did in Liverpool, I had the whole room singing "Fuck Goldbridge."
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Not that you'd want to do that to him. Let's be real. You'd want to stay far away from him. By the way,
I felt like they weren't needing much encouragement.
No, fair play. No, you've been killing it with the live shows as well. It's nice to see, man.
Yeah, it's great. It's not as nervy as it used to be. I always bring actual talent with me. So we had a musician on beforehand playing, singing. Then we had a stand-up comedian on for 15. And by the way, we need to get into that gig because if you thought YouTube paid well, man, the invoices for stand-up comedians are scary, honestly.
I don't think I could do any like live shows. I genuinely don't. Like, obviously, I do live on here. I don't think I could sit in a room full of hundreds or thousands of people and do a show. I don't think I could. Not because I'm shy and all of that, because I ain't. I just don't. I don't think I'd want to, if I'm honest. I'm not really.
I just try.
I'm like a quiet person offline. Like, believe it or not, I'm very offline, very chill. Like, but when I'm talking about my football club, I go crazy, and I don't want to be put in that position in front of 1,200 people.
I try to just bring what we do on YouTube there. So I make them bring the house lights up so I can see everybody for the whole show. And we just shout back and forth and we just talk it out. And, it's fun. Sometimes it ends up in a sing-along. Sometimes it ends up in a mistake. But ultimately, it's good crack. And it's nice to put... Do you know what the best part is, Lee? Honestly, it's the part afterwards where you're finished and people come up to you and go, "Hi, I'm X or Y from..." That's class, man. You get to see the faces to the names and give a hug to the people that, supported you all the way through. That's the part I live for with it all.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's great. Listen, you go live multiple times a day. Yeah, and like you see the same names in the chat. So it is nice to put faces to names. I know a lot of them have their own faces. A lot of them have footballers or just like the letter, right? Like this one here. Yeah, but at the same time, it's nice to see the same faces in the chat every single day. And no matter what channel I go on, I'm sure it's the same with you when you appear on other channels as well. They're there, bro. They're always there. Yeah, and you can't buy that, man. Like, listen, that is down to your hard work and being genuine. Yeah, and that's how I see it as well with me. It's like, I'm genuine. I say what I believe in. Yeah, I may get loads of things wrong. Yeah, and I want to be proven wrong about my club. However, I'm not at the moment, am I? Yeah, and it's like, and I'll continue to call it out until my club does what it's supposed to do. Yeah, and until we do that, people are just going to have to cry about it.
So, and your streams like mine, do they end up going from football into food, into movies, into just tangents, man, on everything?
Yeah, especially if the games are trash. If the watch along's crap. If the game's moving so slow and boring, yeah, I swear to God, yeah, we just talk about it, especially on the second channel. Yeah, because the second channel, that's where I'm chill. Yeah, anyone who watches my Lee Reacts channel, yeah, I am just sitting there, just chill. Yeah, unless don't ask me about Arsenal on that channel, I'm not interested. Yeah, but I'm going to do Newcastle West Ham later. Yeah, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to be chill because that's me. Yeah, man said Lee quiet. Yeah, Ron, listen, brother, you've watched me for years as well. I am extremely quiet offline. Yeah, and I'm extremely chill on my second channel.
Dude, yeah, I'm a boring fuck. I sit here at home and smoke weed at night, and that's it. Don't go pub, don't go bookies, don't social.
Go
me and my missus, that's it. Me and my missus, my family, and then I come on here for the online family. And weirdly, I don't know about you. Do you take regular times off, like a week, 2 weeks, or go away or whatever? No, I'm on holidays, man. I'm getting the shakes. Not being live. I'm 3-4 days away, and I'm looking at my missus going, oh, and she's like, "Go on, make a video."
So it's like all these people in the chat, yeah, like this guy, big up Rasta Stocks as well, yeah, and DJ Crane. These people are from my channel. The other guys are from your channel, yeah. And this is what makes it so nice for us, yeah. Right, and bless up Linda as well, always, babes, yeah. But I've not had. I think I've actually had one day where I've not done anything on either channel in the last 365 days. I'm active every day, yeah, because
you feel
in my
guilty
head,
when you take a day off.
Yeah, but I don't want a day off. Like, my missus wants me to have a day off, because she works days and I work nights, like, because most of the football's on at night, isn't it? Yeah, then she don't work weekends. Yeah, and then most of the decent games on at the weekend. Yeah, so we barely see each other. She lives half a kilometre around the corner. Yeah, it's like, I don't feel guilty. I enjoy what I do. Yeah, and I've got goals that I want to achieve and where I want to get to, and I ain't doing that unless I'm working.
Well,
yeah, because I go so much against the grain of my football club, it's harder for me to get 200, 300k, excuse me, subs and get in the income that I will get to it. And that's why I'm so blessed I hit 100 with the help of the audience, obviously. But because I go so far against everything my club is at the moment with the majority of the fans. But that's because people gravitate to me as a person. Yeah, and that's why I'll continue to do it. Yeah, I do want to go Portugal. I've never been Portugal. That's 5-hour drive up the road. Yeah, I might go next weekend. Might not. I don't know yet. Because it's me and the missus' anniversary on the 2nd week today. 3 years. Thank you. But probably won't go, if I'm honest. Probably won't. Yeah, I probably won't. Christmas Day, I'll be working. Just another day.
I didn't mean, do you feel guilty from the perspective of not being there for your audience? I mean, I'll be sitting at home and go, right, I'm taking this day off because I'm mentally tired or whatever, and I need that break. And then my head would go, you don't need 250 quid, dickhead, no? You don't need the money, is it? We don't need money now, Craig. So we're just going to sit here on the sofa and do nothing. We're too good for money. We don't need it, Craig. That's the way my head goes. So then I'm like, I got to do something.
Yeah, but that's my attitude as well. Like, I want to get paid. And there's always something comes up out of nowhere, pause, yeah, where you don't expect it. And that's another bill. Yeah, so I'll give an example. I had a social security bill. I woke up today, yeah, checked my emails, yeah, another 700 euros. I didn't expect that bill. I phoned the accountant and he went, well, yeah, I did tell you 6 months ago you were getting that bill. I said, well, where's the email? So he tagged me back in the email that I'd missed 6 months ago. So it's like, no, that's fine. Another 762 euros today that I didn't expect. Yeah, it's what it is. Yeah, it's like, it was my daughter's birthday 10 days ago. She wanted an iPhone 16 and 250 quid to get her hair done. Got to pay it, innit? Yeah, and then the missus is going to want an iPad for Christmas. Yeah, these things don't grow on trees. They've got to work.
My so for me, it's like,
I love a day off.
And I had to pay for that.
Yeah, mate, it's never ending. There's always something that comes out the woodwork that you don't expect. And this is why I just keep working because I've always been a worker anyway. Like my dad is retired now, but he was a lorry driver. He used to do 16-hour days.
So was
He's
mine.
No way. My
He
dad
worked,
used to go
mine
all
worked
over
in the
Europe.
council, but he was a truck driver in the council, yeah.
Yeah, my dad used to go all over Europe, lorry driving. Didn't see him for 3 weeks. He'd come back home for a few days. We'll shit our pants like, oh shit, we've run ragged. Yeah, we better hide. Yeah, he'd be at home for 2 or 3 days. He'd be off again for 3 weeks. So, but my mum and dad have been married, 45 years? Yeah, and it's nice that they're still like together. And I had them growing up because like without them, I wouldn't have the work ethic I've got. Yeah, my mum is a traditional, she runs the house. Yeah, my dad's the grafter. But even though my mum works, yeah, my dad's still the boss. Yeah, and I think that's been lost in society, isn't it? It's like, oh, that's misogynistic and all that crap now. But like, it's what it is. And I've always had that work ethic. You don't get nowhere without work. Yeah, nothing comes easy, mate.
I'm 24 years with my missus this year. We're married 17, believe it or not, man. We've been together since we were 19.
That's amazing. That is literally amazing. Congrats to you, man. How does she put up with you, Craig?
I do not know, man. I've been much like YouTube. I've been blagging it for this long that I wouldn't. If she showed up at the door tomorrow with her bags, I'd be like, yeah, no, fair. You've done your shift. Fair enough. Like, well, look, we're lucky, and do you know what? I could probably, you're probably the same, but I couldn't do it without her. I couldn't, man. If I don't have her to bounce off or to open up to or vent to, I'd be lost. Honestly, I need to have her back in, and I take over a living room every evening. She's either up in the bedroom or out in the kitchen watching the small TV, and they make mad sacrifices. So it's nice to give them their acknowledgement as well in these moments.
No, they do. Yeah, my missus, she's 19 days younger than me. Yeah, we're both 43 in June next year. Yeah, and mate, unbelievable. She's so chill, like so chill. Yeah, and like Eastern European women, they go 0 to 100 real quick. Yeah, like honestly, 0 to 100, but she is so chill, mate. And you can see the disappointment in her face sometimes. Like she's like, "I'll cancel that watch." I'm like, "No, I'm working." She's like, "But I'm going to be bored. I'm going to have to watch Netflix till 11 p.m." Oh, sorry, I'm working. Like, you want an iPad for Christmas? Well, I've got work in it. Do you know what I mean? But no, she is good. She is a good girl, and it's like
my missus is joined the fire brigade, believe it or not.
No way.
Yeah, she. So the kids are pretty much not raised now. We've a 12-year-old autistic son, Lucas. He's 13 next month, so he's involved in his PlayStation, his Xbox, and we barely see him like any other teenager. So our daughter's 20; she's out making her own way in the world now. So I think she just wanted to get at it again. So her granddad was a fireman, so she went and did all the courses and prep work, and she's been in the gym every day working out. Like, so she's starting in January, and I'm so proud of her.
No, that's class, man. No, that is class. No, that's it. Bless up to the missus, man. Bless up to the missus. Yeah, my missus.
Bless up to the second wage, Lee. Come on.
All right, mate. My missus' kids are 20 and 17. Yeah, and then my little one's 15 now, turned 15 the other day. So it's like they're all old enough now. Like, just chill, go and do your own thing. Yeah, just leave us in peace now. Yeah, but it's nice, man. When you got a good woman, that supports and helps, and you got a good friendship group and stuff like that, it's definitely a lot easier.
You know what, though? Unlike Goldbridge, she's not ashamed that she's a Forest fan. She's an open Forest fan. Mate, I can't believe I've gone 2 episodes, and that's the first time I've really properly mentioned them. But yeah, she's a Forest fan, genuine Forest fan as well.
Nah, that's class. Well, listen, it is what it is. They got 2 stars, mate. My club have got none.
I want to bring this one up so you can address Linda.
Yeah, Linda. Let me read out all the super chats. Let me go one by one. Sweet. I'll do them as quick as I can. Yeah, bless up to everyone who's put in. Has anybody seen Man City? Yeah, that's a TalkSport thing with Jason Cundy. Bless up to Mark UK. Big up Linda as well. I'm a Portsmouth fan. If Man City are found guilty, they should be relegated down to League 2. I agree. If found of all 115, for only a couple of charges and less of a sentence, like he would if it was in court. Yeah, I agree. If they get found guilty of all of them, then yeah, bye-bye.
And also, quickly on that, mate, for me as well, if they had to put their hands up to some of them, I would have said absolutely show leniency. But they haven't, so.
Yeah, thanks. Big up to Andrew Wright as well. FSG out, only want owners who want to win. Yep, they're not great owners. And Jurgen Klopp rinsed every single last bit out of that club in terms of ability and talent. Yeah, and he left at the right time, if I'm honest. Big up Linda again, Lee. Did you see my super? Yeah, I've just read it, babe. Bless up to you. I hope Granddad's fully back to health as well. Big up to you, babe. Big up Shane as well. Need Ugarte and Mino midfield. Mount ahead of Bruno. Ahmad in number 10. Get Licha and Euro at centre back. Mazraoui right. Got Nacho left wing back because he's not craply. Shane is going to be at Elche or Malaga in the next 2 years. He's rubbish. But other than that, I agree with the rest.
He's living off that bicycle kick for a while now.
Yeah, he's rubbish, man. He's the worst winger in the league. But it is what it is. Big up DJ Crane, my guy always, man. If I'm going to spend my hard-earned money, it's going to watch a proper legends like Craig and the GOAT Gunner. Money well spent. Big up to you, DJ Crane. Tony, I love you, man. Always supporting, man. Big up to you, bro. Big up Rasta Stocks as well. See, when they say Gunner Bang, I know they've been here from day one because that was my original channel.
Nice.
That was what, 17, 18 season? Or 16, 17, I set that channel up and then I locked myself out of it. You know, when you give somebody the login details to log into it and it pops up on your phone and is this you logging in? I press no by mistake. Locks out the account forever.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. It's long. I'm trying to get it back.
Mate, I lost a TikTok account and I had videos on there with 5.5 million views on them. I was raging.
It's hard work, isn't it? And it's very difficult to get these things back. Big up for another one. I'm a Man U fan and respect the honesty. Big up to you, man. Colin, you're always in every chat I'm in as well. Bless up, man. Big up to Liz Golden as well. It's great to see you both. It's great to have you here. Thank you very much, Liz. I'm listening to
Liz over in Florida, by the way.
In Florida, love.
Yeah.
I've never been to America.
She's had a couple of operations and a few bits, so she's been recovering, so we're hoping you're well, Liz.
Yeah, bless. Yeah, I've never been to America, ever. One day. Big up Linda again. Hi, Lee. I'm listening, so I cannot watch as I'm at work. Please, can you read mine out? I've done it, babes. Bless up to you. And thank you. Always tuning in. Big up to Ron as well. Lee, quiet. I've read that one. I am quiet, man. I am quiet. Big up to Rick as well. Great show. Big up the lads. Craig. Big up to Rick Matic, 1985. Demetrius as well. Love, brother. Big up to both of you. Great chat. This is what we're here for, man. Just a great conversation. Interact with you guys. And we move on. Mark UK again, folks. Get your predictions in for the first West Ham. Do you know what? I'm going to go with. Is that Newcastle? Is it?
It's at St James's, yeah.
Yeah, Newcastle has slapped them. That's his last game. Yeah, Lopetegui's getting sacked. I said he was rubbish when he got there. They should have just kept Moyes, if I'm honest. Should have kept Moisey. But as have a drink on me, love the show. Big up to Ron, man. Big up to Ron Cooley. Always love, brother. Always love to you, my friend. Always
I agree with you, by the way, in the prediction. I think Newcastle winning it 2-0, 3-1, something like that.
Yeah, they'll comfortably batter them. Andrew Wright says, I work 6 days a week and footy weekend and chill. Do you know what? I don't think I could have a weekend off and not watch football. Like, I just enjoy football. Doesn't matter. Bro, I sit there and watch all sorts of... I watched Osasuna Villarreal the other day. Yeah, I thought that'd be a good game. Full versus
yeah, I've messaged you and you've told me you're doing some watch-alongs and I'm like, what the fuck? You'd be like the Bradford under-17 midgets against the never even. I thought I was bad for some of my betting, by the way, because I've bet on second division women's football in Mexico and stuff.
See, I don't gamble, but my dad always gets the Arsenal results spot on. Every time I text him, I go, "What do you reckon today?" He goes, "Yeah, you're lose to Newcastle, 1-0, and we lost 1-0." Yeah, and I was gonna say, "What about Chelsea?" Yeah, you'll draw that game. Yeah, I didn't ask him about the Forest at the weekend, but he always gets the Arsenal results spot on. Sorry, can you read out super chats? Some of us are working and listening, can't watch. I think I've read that. Bless up Linda again. Big up Lil Tim's always my guy. Come on. We'll always say, yeah, Lee will always say, we will always say what's required. Come on, exactly. This is what it is, Tims. We have to say what it is. And big up Callum as well. Glad that you two are doing a pod together. Makes us lonely nights bearable. Well, we're here all evening, man. And I'm sure Craig's got more shows coming up tonight, as have I.
Yep, I've got to do some shouting at the PGMOL and our owners about why the fuck Mohamed Salah hasn't been given a new deal. I mean, God, it's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing.
That's mad, isn't it?
It is. Like we spoke about City earlier on, right? He wouldn't be waiting for a contract. Let me say that, you know, at many other clubs, it's a stain on our club that we're still in this position because of these owners.
Do you think he will? Do you think he will get offered one?
I think they have to. I mean, the fans have made it very clear. They've there's banners on the cop saying he plays with a bow, give him his dough. just everybody, even he's coming out now and saying, I love it here. I love the fans. He wants to be here. Like, it should be a no-brainer. Yeah, you got to compromise to some extent, but there's no signs he's dropping off, is there? Like, he's 10 goals, 6 assists in the Prem, I think, so far.
No, it's
or
mad.
other way
Yeah,
around.
his output's crazy. His output is crazy.
Did you see him when he whipped his top off, by the way, again?
I said this on my stream. I'm not even taking the mick. Yeah, I said this on my stream. I said he's definitely been in the gym. I said, look at the size of his shoulders.
He's
like
probably
he's
the closest
proper
thing I've seen to
bulked up.
Ronaldo. Like, if physique-wise, he's probably the closest thing I've seen to Ronaldo. Absolute beast of a man.
Yeah, he's definitely bulked up. He's definitely, listen, you know, he looks after himself. He don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't do any of that stupidness. You don't see him out clubbing or anything. Yeah, he eats right, he sleeps well. Listen, you can't knock the numbers, man. Yeah.
So what I was saying to Sabrina earlier on.
I'll be there soon.
Can you imagine being the guy doing the operation, the pressure on him? Because if you fuck up Mo's hair, the Egyptians, man, you're gone. Done, game over. Got to get that right. And it's not what he looked great. I loved him with the shaved head. You know, after he got it done and it was grown back in, I thought he looked mint with the shaved head.
Now, to be fair to him, though, he does look after himself. But I think the fact that he's on about, 300 odd grand a week, he probably wants a little bit more as the last contract. I don't think he's going to sign, though. I don't think you'll give him any more. I think he's going to go Saudi.
I think he's too good to go there yet, Lee. I mean, he's so many records he's closing in on at Liverpool and more legacy, and we're challenging. I feel like he can do a Ronaldo and play till he's 36, 37, 38. So I think two more years after this season at the top level, and that move's still there for him. Honestly, I think this will be the one thing, if FSG don't do it or Hughes and Edwards don't do it, this will turn on them very, very quickly, because the admiration Liverpool fans have for Mohamed Salah is next level. Like, and understandably so. He's phenomenal, you know, and even fair play to Egypt this season. They've given him a breather. They've let him miss this international break because they'd already qualified before for the African Cup of Nations. It feels like there's no way you can't give him a contract extension. I think it will lead to destabilizing the whole season if it doesn't get done.
What about the other two? Because obviously Virgil van Dijk's down to his last 6 months nearly, and same with Trent. I think Trent's staying, by the way.
I think with Trent, it's his decision. I think the club are waiting for him to say what he wants to do. And I'm 50-50 on it. I've no insight. I don't know anything about the situation. I just don't want him to drag it out. If he wants to go to Madrid and he wants to do that, okay, can understand that, but let the fans know. You know, don't drag it out any longer, because the club have to start looking at options. And I don't want his legacy ruined either. I want him to stay. I think he might stay because, I guess this is me with Liverpool tinted glasses on. I can understand the pull of Madrid. You know, of course I can. But Liverpool are challenging at the minute. And when you look at Michael Owen or Steve McManaman or others who left the club to go to Madrid, Liverpool weren't the same. Liverpool weren't competitive really back then compared to what we are now. So I feel like it is his decision. The club can't do anymore. If he wants to stay, they'll find a financial agreement. If he doesn't, then off he goes. Virgil's, I can't see a world he doesn't get an extension. I can't. I think he's probably the easiest of the three to get done as well.
I agree. I don't think he'll want that much more money. And you'll probably notice this right at the very beginning. The amount of times Kenny said on the podcast that I redirected from to here, yeah, Arteta, show us your nuts. Like, yeah, show us your nuts in this January. And he must have said it about 20 times in about 2.5 minutes. I was sitting there, I went to the bathroom, I come back, and all I heard was, yeah, show us your nuts, Arteta. I was like, oh, my days, what are we doing here? Yeah, so the whole chat lit up with, yeah, come on, bless up to you, Enos, man. Big up, man. But yeah, we are probably going to have to wrap this up, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, just before we finish up, a reminder, would be a bit earlier on Thursday. We're bringing a guest on, but because obviously United are playing that day, we got to start a bit earlier to make sure we can get our guest on. Friend of yours.
Yep, Saeed will be here. Yeah, they've been loud, they've been cocky, they've been mouthy all international break, and then they go and drop 2 points to Ipswich. So yeah, kind of funny how things work, but it's what it is. The goalkeeper that they signed last summer that had an absolute nightmare for about the first 6 months actually kept him in the game and has looked good recently. So he's the least of the worries at Man United. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Red Cartel will be here on Thursday, 3 p.m.
Absolutely. So can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, man. What you got coming up for the rest of the evening, mate?
I'm on at 8:45. I had an interview with David Lynch, a Liverpool-based journalist earlier on. That's gone up. We were talking about the game, Mohamed Salah, all the usual stuff. And then tonight, late night agenda, 8:45. What about yourself?
Watch along for the Newcastle game. And I'm not sure if Arteta's done a press conference yet. I'm not sure if they've landed in Lisbon yet. But I'll probably, there's nothing on their website yet. I'll probably do a press conference reaction on the main channel afterwards as well. So yeah, Newcastle, West Ham, then that on the Reacts channel. Big up Kyle as well. I don't blame you for giving up your ticket, mate. Yeah, flying from Ireland to Sporting Lisbon, mate, to watch them get probably banged tomorrow. Although I've never been to Lisbon, but I do want to go one day. Everyone tells me it's beautiful, but yeah, forget that, mate. Save the money. Christmas is coming, mate. Yeah, make sure you sub to the channel, guys. It's been lit again, peaked at 800 plus, which is fantastic numbers, second show. And make sure you smash the likes up, not even 500 yet. Come on, 444. And bless up to everyone who's liked, shared, commented, donated, all that good stuff. We'll be back again Thursday. Any final thoughts, Craig, or are we wrapping?
No, just again, man, I can't say how much I enjoyed this. Getting to know people in the chat as well. I hope we do you guys proud over the course of this podcast. And yeah, keep it coming twice a week. And we're going to have a new guy making clips as well for us over the next couple of weeks. So lots of new stuff coming out. Make sure you sub, hit those likes. And of course, we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Facts. We're out. Laters.